Hey Bob, how you doing? You're the gentleman that asked me about the where should you start with the uh, Gary Shafee books, correct? You gave me a brief description of how long you've been playing, whatever, and I'm glad that you got back into it because that passion never goes away. Anyway, you know the Shafee book. I mean, yeah, the Gary Shafee books. Have a lot of different things going on. Odd groupings, playing jazz time, playing funk, developing hands. And I go over books like, Joe Morello's Master Studies 1 and Master Studies 2, and the stick control book with a lot of different formulas. So wherever you want to start is okay. Just start. If you want to develop some jazz coordination, you want to develop some funk, you want to develop some okay. I made a mistake then. Okay. How long have you been playing, Bob? Because tonight we're going to be working from the time functions, Gary Shafee. And being that you're here, I've been having some problems with my chat on my website, and that should be taken care of by tomorrow. So Monday, we will be going to my site at 8:30. I can't get this pop-up off. Driving me crazy. There you go. Okay. Okay, well, off and on. This is still your playing. You have a passion to play. Do you have the time functions band, patterns series? Because we're going to be working from the jazz patterns tonight. And it's more or less like a trailer for the up-and-coming, how you doing, Paul? The up-and-coming lessons next week. We did rudiments this afternoon, and I've been going over some rudiments so that you know the language, and you execute the rudiments naturally, and you know the language, so on and so forth. But and then next week we're gonna apply some of the things that you've learned in the past lessons from me musically. It'll be a little bit more mechanic. Okay, well, it's a good book. I do work at this constantly. This and the stick control book is my primary source. Definitely the stick control book. Okay, like I said, Paul, this afternoon, we're going to revisit the jazz patterns in the time function Shafee book. Okay? And we're going to do some stick control book formulas using the jazz patterns. Before I go on, Paul and Bob, and there's one more guy watching, but he's not in the chat. Do you know how to do a triplet roll? I just need a Y for yes and an N for no, because I'm going to explain it anyway. So just put in the chat whether you know how to do a triplet roll or you don't. All right, well, no response. Okay, no problem. Triplet roll. You know how to do a triplet roll perfect? Okay, we're gonna work with that tune that you wanted to do, Paul. Not tonight. Blue Monk. I'm gonna do about 5 or 6 different variations with things that we've learned in the past and apply them to that melody. Now, there's no right and there is no wrong. Okay, there is no right or wrong. It's you establishing your own voice. All right, I'm going to explain the triplet roll. If I'm doing triplets, eighth note triplets, 1 and 2 and 4 and all I'm doing is I'm counting that eighth note triplet. How you doing, Ed? When I do the eighth note triplet, I'm doubling the stroke on the count like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Go. We get that, Paul? 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. You understand that, Ed? You understand that, Paul and Bob? Okay, you can do it, but now the thing is, that's fine. That's part of the language, a triplet roll. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to play the melody next week. I'm going to write the chart out. I'm working on it now. Now we're going to play the triplet roll on top, and we're going to play the melodic structure with the bass drum, Blue Monk. Or we're going to use some drags and different voices and different selections. Okay, let's go back. Now, one thing, before we go any further with the Chaffee book. A while back, I gave a lesson doing the jazz pattern with the left foot, heel, and toe, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we took the stick control book, and what we did with the stick control book is we swung the line. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, we went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now, one thing you want to revisit, if you get time to practice it, is playing the line, that line syncopated or swung between the bass drum and snare drum, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Against the time, 1, 2, 4. That's line 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 2, 3, 4. Line 3. Do we remember that lesson, Paul, Mike, and Ed? I'm waiting for Mike Lewis. You guess you can play it, huh? Well, no, there's no guess. It's either you can or you can't. We all can play it if you practice it. So that's one thing you want to revisit. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, stick control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Line 3. Line 4. 5. So on and so forth. Okay, you remember that? Work on that, because we're going to do the melody line like that. And one more one. I gave this to you. I'm not sure if you have the PDF on this or not. If you don't have the PDF, I'll just send it anyway, so you do have it. Is we did a formula with the stick control book as one surface and a drum set application. We made R equal right, left, right, and L equal left, right, left. As on one surface, if I did the line as the first right, 1, then left, right, left, right, left. If I did line 3, that would be 2 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Do we remember that? Hey, Ed, do you have the PDF? And Paul, do you have the PDF? And everybody who's listening, get into the chat. Do we all have the PDF on that or no? If not, I'm just going to send it. So you want to work on just not the one surface, you want to work on this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alternate. If I did R as, I do a substitution. Instead of doing 1, 2, I'm going to 1, 2 against the jazz time. You have, okay, you remember that, okay? You have the PDF on that? What do you do with the PDFs, man? You start fires in your fireplace? Okay, if you have the PDF there, Ed? And we're going to do some basic reading next week as well in 6/8. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to play Blue Monk with that. All right, I'll send them to you guys anyway, all right? Bob, you're on my mailing list, correct? Mr. Bob, you're from Boston, if I remember correctly. I just have so much email. I forget everybody's names, and there's so many. See, I even forget my wife's name, so don't feel bad, guys. Okay, now, just some things that you want to review, revisit, get them stronger, because we're going to apply them to a melodic structure, a 12-bar blues. Well, you have a printer, Paul? Okay, Bob, you're from Canada. Okay. Now, next time I do a lesson in the evening at 8:30, it's going to be on my site. It's going to be a paid-for site. I will continue for a while longer to do the 1 p.m. lessons on YouTube. And that's more or less laid back and not so much structure, but a lot of different questions and learning the language of drumming and kind of revisiting things that I've done or you want to learn. Okay? You have my email, right, Bob? Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get to the time functions. And let's go to, you have the book, Time Functions. You don't have it, right, Bob? I apologize, but I'll explain it to you as best as I can so you could understand exactly what I'm doing. Now, a little bit about Paul. Don't be paperless, man. What happens if your computer crashes? You have a backup? You gotta print it out, man. Put them all in a folder. What is N for? No. Oh, you don't have the book. All right. All right. I'm going to try to explain this as best as possible for those who don't have the book. Open up the book, if you have it, to page 26. Now, a little bit more about Gary Chaffee. Gary Chaffee retired from Berklee College of Music. He was the head of the percussion department. And he retired for a little bit, but he's in such demand, and he got so many different requests to teach, to give lessons, and he did. What's this? All right, let me put my email. There's such a delay, I forget what I asked. Here's my email. Hold on. Oh. Gary Chaffee was a great drummer, man. He still is. And a lot of different guys gone through him. Okay, that's my email, so email me if you want the PDFs if you don't have them. Okay, now, the elements of the triplet. We're not doing any kind of permutations or of the triplet like what I tried to do the last lesson. We're going to get back to that, okay? I haven't had a whole lot of time lately because I'm writing lessons that people don't print out, Paul. And it's been taken away from my practice time with doing a lot of yard work before the cold comes in. But that's okay. I'm back, I'm practicing, and I'm trying to get a better quality lesson to you guys. Case closed. Back to the triplet. The triplet has three components, an eighth note triplet. One and the. Now I just use my right stick just because I'm lazy. But now I could take any part of that triplet and just play just that one part. For example, I could play the one of the triplet. One and two and three and four and or I could play the and of the triplet. Only one and two and three and four and or the of the triplet. One and two and three and four and or now there's the laws of probability, or there's the computations, I guess, or not binary. The laws of probability. How many different kind of combinations could I come up with three notes? There is a formula, and I forgot what it was. But that's the three components of the triplet. I could play the first and third note of the triplet, only one and two and three and four and I could play the second and third notes of the triplet, one and two, three, four and You follow me, Bob? You understand? I know that Paul and Ed have gone through some of this stuff with me, so I'm not asking them. I know they understand this. Do you follow me so far, Bob? Now, let's take the first three elements of the triplet, and we're going to play, excuse me, we're going to use four voices, okay? The bass drum, the hi-hat, the ride cymbal, and the snare. So I'm going to play just the snare part right now of what I want to do. I want to play the first note of the triplet. I'm going to play with my left hand on the snare. One and two and three and four and So I'm going to play my left foot heel and toe while I'm doing that. One and two. Get a check. Four. One and two and three and four and Now while I'm doing that, just playing the first note of the triplet, what I'm going to do is play my ride cymbal pattern. One and two and so I'm playing actually quarter notes. Very simple. So one and two and three and four and boom. No bass drum part yet. So what I play with my snare drum just now, I'm going to eliminate the snare drum, just play with the bass drum. Just quarter notes. The first part of the triplet. One and two and three and four. One, two, three. Simple. Now we'll take the first part of the triplet, and we're going to revert to the stick control book. I see the first line is right, left, right, left. So I see a right, I play the bass drum. I see a left, I play the snare drum. These are in quarter notes now. So I'll play the first line between the bass drum and the snare drum again in the jazz time. One, two, three, four. One, two. Here we go. Three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three. Simple pattern. Line two. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Line three. I'm doing it slow. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. It's pretty elementary. However, now, we're going to go to the end of the triplet, which, in my opinion, out of all of the different patterns and the different variations of the triplet, this is actually the hardest one, because it's a very unusual part to play all the time. So I'm going to play the and of the triplet with my left hand. One and two and three and four and Now I'm going to do the same thing with my right foot. Just play all the ands of the triplet. One and two and three and four and Now I'm going to go again to the stick control book. But I'm going to play the jazz time first. And my left foot, 2 and 4, heel and toe. So I go to the first right-left sequence. So I'm going to have this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Sorry, distraction. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to line 3. Let's go to a different line there. Line 3. 2 rights, 2 lefts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now let's go to the da. And actually, that's the third element of the triplet, just the da. So again, I'm going to play the da just on my snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Now I revert to the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So we have the jazz time now. 2 and 4 on the da. Start with line 1 of the stick control. Line 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you got line 3, 4. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Too slow for me. Line 2. On the da. Line 3. You know, since I've been doing these lessons, what I find difficult for me, and I'm not using no excuses here. Well, yeah, I am. It's multitasking, which is, it's a good thing for me because it challenges me. Now, when I'm playing it slowly, and that's what you should do, you know, when you're practicing and you're just learning this. But in my thing is, when I do it slow, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next for you. So now I have my brain split, or you want to call me scatterbrain, that's okay. But that's what happens to me. That's why I make a lot of mistakes when I'm doing this. So now, and that's a good excuse. Okay, so now we took the first element of the triplet, which is the 1, then the and then the da. Now, he goes forward a little bit and he gives you combinations. He's playing the 1 and of the triplet, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then he's playing it with the bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now let's do the snare drum only against the jazz time. Then the bass drum. So he's giving you all these combinations. He's giving you 14 combinations in all. And then he's giving you combinations of 2 measures as opposed to 1. Now this is all, I take what he's given here, the triplets, like line 4, and I revert always to the stick control book because of the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. You know, when somebody, you know, I like I said, I mentor all these, not mentor, I host all these groups on Facebook, and I have a site called Stick Control Formulas. I get comments like, yeah, I went through that book 35 years ago. Easy book. Well, you know what? I don't care who's listening. That's bullshit. That is like something you should have a stick control book in every room of your house. Your living room, your kitchen, your bathroom, your bedroom, all over the place. You should, that stick control book is the best selling book ever. and it's the most, what can I say? It's the most helpful book. And if you surfacely do it, it doesn't seem too bad. But if you get an instructor with all the formulas in different ways and referencing and substitutions, that book is limitless. All right, hey, Paul, do you know why I'm doing all of this tonight, revisiting this? Because you're the one that requested Blue Monk. And I'm taking Blue Monk and utilizing the jazz pattern, or I'm utilizing the solo between the different voices, and I'm pronouncing the melodic structure. And it's very elementary and very basic. Do you understand that, Paul? You had me all Blue Monked out this afternoon. Okay, so now. Well, you're absolutely correct. It does have millions of possibilities. That's a lot of possibilities. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe 100,000. A million's all. Well, that's a good expression. It's just, you know what? As I give these to students, they come back with something of their own, which is a beautiful thing because now I think I've done my job. I've done my job, you know, because now I develop in their passion. I ignited their passion for creativity, which is totally art. And you listen to Blue Monk about 100 times today. You did? All right. Let's see if I make a mistake. I'm going to hum it a little bit. Blue Monk. Da ba doo. First off, if you're listening to Thelonious Monk play that, there's maybe 50 different variations that he has on YouTube. Some is very slow, down and dirty. Some is a lot faster. You know, so pick out the one that you like. I would pick out a slower version because we're going to start to develop on that. All right? But Blue Monk. Da ba doo bang. Da ba doo bang. Bum 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 bum. Da ba doo bang. Da ba doo bang. A mistake. One, two, three. Ba boo boo dee dee bam. 4, 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 1. Bum ba bum ba ba. 3, 4. Da ba doo bang. Da ba doo bang. Da ba doo bang. Da ba doo dang. Ba doo ba dee dee da. 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 1. 2, the 3, the 4, the 1. Da. Okay, Paul, I made 3 mistakes. Hyperbole. Okay, I know you are. No problem. Okay, so did I make any mistakes, Paul? You should have nightmares about Blue Monk. Get some Miles tunes and John Coltrane tunes. Charlie Parker's the man, though, for learning this structure thing. But anyway, Miles Davis, Solar, Freddie the Freeloader, ba-da, da-da, and then we're going to work with that. Yeah, where were the mistakes, Paul? Don't forget now, when I'm taking it to structure. When Thelonious Monk is playing it, he adds a little bit to the structure. You know, I made 3 mistakes. That's okay. We're all human. Miles and Coltrane. All right. Solar, Freddy the Freeloader. Uh, what else? Yeah, there's Milestones. There's a lot of different things. Listen to Herbie Hancock and Tony Williams. Herbie Hancock with Maiden Voyage. That's a good one to learn how to play with an ostinato. You're playing off the ostinato and the melodies going on. I think there's only about 3 or 4 notes to the melody. Okay, but Herbie Hancock, was it Maiden Voyage? And we're going to get some basic like Satin Doll, Take the A Train. These are basic learning steps to more complicated tunes. You know, Take the A Train is really not a complicated tune. Satin Doll is not complicated. But what I want to bring across to everybody is I'm going to take a tune and I'm going to give maybe 5 or 6 different variations of soloing in the tune. A structured solo. You know, like I said, I get all these guys on YouTube, how fast they can play their double bass drums, the language of drumming, single 5, single 6, or whatever the hell it is, and it really gets me crazy. But anyway, any questions about tonight? And Bob, try to pick up that book. Now, the next night lesson, 8:30 p.m., is going to be on my site. And again, gentlemen, that's a paid-for site. I will be back on Monday, 1 p.m. on YouTube, this channel, doing a very laid-back, kind of open kind of lesson. All right? I'm only going to provide PDFs for the paid-for subscribers. Do you think that's fair, gentlemen? I wonder where Michael Lewis is tonight. He does a lot of work, that guy. He's in Maryland. I hope that hurricane ain't happening. Now, we're not going to listen to any of Glenn Campbell's. Anyway, that's okay. Any questions, gentlemen? Hey, Ed, do you have any questions? And anybody who wants the PDFs, that's in here today. This is the last time I'm giving out PDFs for free. They take a tremendous amount of my time. Ed, you still here? Or did I put you to sleep again? Okay, with that all being said, I'm going to close it up until Monday. Who won't be here, hopefully? Hopefully. What are you talking about, Bob? I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying there. Okay, it's all good, I guess. We're all good. We're all drummers in the same boat trying to become better and better and better and learn from each other. No ego, no attitude. Okay, gentlemen, no questions. See everybody Monday, 1 p.m. Your lunchtime, right, Paul? Okay. Will you call me? What is this? Who? All right. That's better. I was going to get on you for that one, Paul. Okay, gentlemen. Have a good night. Boom. It's hot in here. On the coast. Oh, okay. I hope you don't have a problem in Maryland. I hope nobody has a problem. I hope this thing just blows out someplace and stays away from all these people. Okay. See everybody Monday, 1 p.m.